Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to This Week in Pop Culture. My name is Arash Zandieh. With me this week, is always, a huge Transformers fan and an autograph collector, Michael Bergy. Next,
What up, folks?
Next, we also have the greatest person in all of comics. Well, we have Sammy Castillo. She's the owner of Castillo Studios and is currently working on her new book called Bubblegum Rockets. Welcome, Sammy.
Hi.
And also, if we also have a special guest, his name is Jason Richardson. He is the promoter and owner of J1 Con, which is held every fall at the Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City. Jason is not on yet. He's got a little mini technical difficulties, so when he comes on, we'll jump right in. Welcome, guys. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday.
So far, so good.
Yeah, same. So far, so good.
Speaking of the devil, welcome, Jason.
Hey, what's going on?
We've got an awesome introduction for you. So let's get right into the topic. We're going to talk about Cobra Kai and YouTube. Cobra Kai is set to leave YouTube in the release of Season 3 on another streaming platform. Current bidders are Netflix and Hulu. Whoever wins the rights for Season 3 would also get Season 1 and 2 of the series. Jason, since you're our special guest, why don't you start us off? What do you think with Cobra Kai leaving YouTube, and what does that mean for anyone on the streaming service?
Honestly, it's saving money. Real talk. I mean, like, there's a lot of people who don't really have or care to pay for YouTube. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm one of them. I'm not gonna pay. It sounds weird paying for YouTube, like,
right.
And to do that for technically like one show, I'm really excited to see. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna do that. But if it's on Hulu,
I mean, you got Hulu, and you have Netflix. And what has YouTube have to offer me except for Cobra Kai?
Right. Like, as cool as it is, it's not getting me to pay for a whole streaming service.
That's true. I mean, it is $40 a month, and they also apparently had live TV as part of their package.
Okay, so I have Disney Plus, Netflix. Like with Disney Plus, you at least get all the classic Disney stuff. You get all your favorite old school cartoons from like the Disney like afternoon, packages. You get the Marvel movies. You get Star Wars. We got the Mandalorian. Like,
what else?
$99 a month.
Right. I'm not paying YouTube for what? Like,
yeah.
Like, for what? Come on. Okay. They even know it. Like people. I guarantee you, one of the reasons why they're making that move is to get more viewership.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Well, yeah, Cobra Kai is their number one streamed show on YouTube. So it does become
technically their only.
I thought that there was like a zombie, not a zombie apocalypse, but like an apocalypse one that came out right. It was like their first red show.
You mean iZombie?
No.
iZombie was on CW.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I watched iZombie on CW.
I thought the first, like, it was like a post-apocalyptic dystopian tweeny bopper kind of show.
I don't know.
Shows you how good it was, because none of us ever remembered it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how memorable it is. Michael, what do you think?
Honestly, to the truth, I never saw Cobra Kai on the YouTube channel because I wasn't paying for YouTube Red.
What kind of person are you? This conversation happened at one of your shows.
Yeah, I know, right? I never, I wanted to watch it, but I just wasn't going to pay $40 a month to watch a show that was, what? Isn't those shows 15, 20 minutes long for episodes?
Yeah, they're short episodes.
Yeah, so I'm paying $40 for, 6 episodes with season 1, 15 minutes long? That's an hour and 15 minutes. $40. Jesus, I can go see a movie in the movie theater for at least 13, and it's at least an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Right?
I kind of feel like we should bring in William Zat just to clarify exactly what was going on in these episodes and stuff. But that should be for a different conversation.
That have to be done maybe at one of our cons or something.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that it's going to go to either Netflix or Hulu, because then you do have the option. Like I have YouTube TV, but I don't have YouTube Red. But now I guess I could have, if I'd known that, I would have been watching it.
Yeah.
But with Netflix, I mean, I get the back 2 seasons and everything with it. Not too shabby. I can definitely get down with that.
Yeah.
From everything I've seen on the show, it's really good.
Yeah, so you're pretty much going back to play catch up. So it's kind of worth it. Go to a new streaming site. Guess what? It'll be revived.
Hey, you got to figure how many people are probably watching on Netflix right now. They're going to have new shows to watch. It's going to probably be one of the highest binge shows for at least a week or so.
Yeah.
While everyone catches on, they probably didn't watch it on YouTube or anything.
Well, speaking of streaming services, actor Tom Ellis has worked out his new deal with Netflix to bring him back for season 6 of Lucifer. Early in the year, Netflix was trying to expand their Warner Brothers show with their past initial 5 seasons. It's originally supposed to just last 5 seasons. Could this be the 6th and final season of Lucifer? Sammy, do you watch Lucifer? What do you think of, we get Lucifer for 1 more year?
That's awesome. I like you, Lucifer. I like that Netflix took it too, and they chopped all the fat, because the last season and a half, so the half of 3 and like most of 4 was rough, because they had to meet that 23 episode BS.
Yeah.
And the overall story arc wasn't set for that, and it's Netflix. It can be MA, which is what Lucifer should be to begin with. He should be walking in and, a bunch of, swirling dildos and fetish parties should be happening. Like I hear myself. So I'm happy. Like, I really enjoyed what they did with it. I'm a little familiar with the actual comic and the character, but they also brought it into the into the CW. They brought him into CW,
right? But the CW universe, yes,
which I actually just watched, so I'm a little bit behind. Sorry. I was very happy because he plays an awesome Lucifer. But I'm really happy for the 6th season, and I think the story could go that far. Like, when they finally got rid of that whole bullshit will they, won't they kind of storyline and just went into it with the last Netflix or the first Netflix season. I was really
went right for it, with the last episode.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm really happy that they finally who had it first? Fox? Was it Fox or FX?
Fox had it first.
Yeah, I think Fox had it first.
So Fox, their only gimmick was the whole will they, won't they, will she not, and it made her character really terrible after a while, because I mean, there's only so much shit you can happen in front of you, and then you turn around and you're like, I still don't believe it. Like, it was making it so the characters were not believable, and you started hating Chloe because Lucifer's pining over her, and she's like, no, you must be crazy, no. And it was getting it was killing the suspension of disbelief. So I'm happy Netflix took it, and I'm happy they're making another season. I think that they can, they have a lot to pull from too.
There you go. And Jason, what do you think with with Lucifer? See, we get season 6.
Look, I wasn't a big Lucifer fan. It was just I like my CW shows, but that one kind of just missed out. I was on Riverdale. I have all my Arrowverse stuff. The only time I was like, oh snap, Lucifer, was during Crisis. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, all right, I don't care. Just that's cool.
Well, again, he was like a millisecond,
Right, but just to tie it into the overall CW Arrowverse or now Flashverse, I don't know how you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And next is Supergirl verse, so who knows what they're going to do with that?
Well, everybody's on Flash's world, so it's more Flashverse.
We'll we'll see.
That's the
Because
bigger,
they're
that's the
testing
bigger
out-
show out of all
It'll
the
always
other
be
shows.
called Arrowverse because it started with Arrow, and that's what they named their TV line.
Yeah, Mike, what do you think with Lucifer? Could it? Because since Jason mentioned the whole crossover thing, I'm surprised we didn't get Constantine and Lucifer on one show.
Honestly, like I'm excited for the season 6, but I kind of want to know when the heck season 5 is coming out.
Right.
We're talking about season 6, but season 5 hasn't even dropped. We don't know how many episodes it's going to be. There's no talk about it. I'm looking forward to it. I hope they fix the Chloe line a little bit with him because I mean I get it where you were saying how it's like, oh, will they, won't they, that type of deal. Like I'm kind of over that. Like just get over it. But what I want to see them is not make her look like a crack idiot on the show. Like season 4, they made her look like a crack idiot that didn't know what the hell she was doing, and she was like, she just couldn't handle her business at all. And I just did not like that story and plot line. Hopefully they fix it with 5, move on to 6. But I did enjoy the Arrowverse crossover for it, where you put him as part of the entire DC. Just basically did it right, and they put everything into one planet. They combined the entire universe, put that there. But that the Arrowverse takes place supposedly with that scene 5 years before we actually meet Lucifer on the first season of the Fox show.
Yeah.
Right.
So who knows what could have happened between then and now, and what they could do in flashbacks. Imagine adding somebody like Stephen Amell, some of those characters, to Lucifer. And Ellis has actually joked about that there's going to be some big cameos this year. I would love to see a Constantine cameo.
Hell yeah.
That'd be something kind of cool. I thought that was a cool storyline between the two of them. So why not add it to it and put it on the Netflix? I think it'd be kind of chill.
Since it's a CW, don't you think Supernatural Boys will kind of make a small cameo appearance as well too?
Well, they did Supernatural. Well, they did a cameo with Supernatural with Baby, the Impala on Legends of Tomorrow, and you had Laura Lance geeking out about it and stuff like that. I thought that was a really cool, nice nod to Supernatural. That's like, hey, this is part of it. And they're like, oh, yeah, this is a TV show about these guys that go hunting. I was like, did they just drop Supernatural? I'm like, yes. Yeah. Well, that's all I'm going to get for Supernatural the rest of the year until God knows when they finally air the last 6 or 7 episodes to finish off their run.
Yeah.
So does this mean we're gonna get another Crisis that involves like Riverdale and like Sabrina? Like,
who knows?
That would be kind of chill though. If you add them into it, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Because it's 2 completely different type of shows.
Aren't they though? Is a CW show different?
I mean, the Riverdale and Sabrina.
I mean, I can't see some of the Riverdale guys. That's basically
but it's the same universe.
It's the same universe. I just mean that their style of show is very different.
Yeah,
murderous teenagers, and then you've got devil worshipping witches and magic.
Well, we don't know what they do on the Riverdale,
Yeah, because they do. Because not that I watch any of these shows.
Is that a poster in the background, Jay?
I don't get into those kid shows as I cover up my.
I saw a Riverdale poster. I have no shame. So
I was crying watching season 4, episode 1 of Riverdale because I was like, oh man, Luke Perry, dang,
right?
Oh yeah,
I
didn't really get into Riverdale. Like I watched the first season and I was like, this is cool, and then the second season, like I might have gotten like 3 or 4 episodes in, and I'm like, meh.
Isn't it basically just it's Archie, right?
Yeah.
It's
R-rated Archie.
So I can't see Archie being part of the CW Infinite crossover. What are they going to do? Die? They have no power. Hey, go deal with the Monitor over there, or deal with the these monsters from outer space. Like
technically, in the Archie verse, they were in Scooby Doo at one point, and they were also linked to Batman. So who knows if that will actually happen as well too, where they have like the past shows and the past cameos actually happen. Which would be
magic does exist in the Riverdale universe because in Sabrina, they always make mention that she went and hung out at Riverdale.
Yeah.
Riverdale is the next town over.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours away or something, and they talk about it during her, like that she went there during the summer and shit.
Yeah.
I liked Sabrina. I thought it was cool. But then again,
Maybe there'll be the Riverdale
liked
verse
it.
or stuff like that, or the Sabrina verse. Who knows what they'll come up with next with the CW? I mean, the sky's the limit for Warner Brothers and CW.
They're doing all the right things and they're doing what the fans want. I mean, I could easily see, like, because it's so meta, I could see a Legends of Tomorrow episode where they get brought into the Archieverse, you know, for an episode. And, you know, they have to go do some random thing and they run into Archie and his chums and then Sabrina. I easily could see that.
Oh,
that would actually be a pretty neat crossover.
But they would do that because they did an episode. Not that I watched, you know, Legends of Tomorrow. But they did do a thing where they crossed over, and one of the storylines they met up with young Steve Jobs.
Yep.
Another time they went and met up with George Lucas.
Yep.
To make sure that he made Star Wars. Like, come on.
I do like how Legends of Tomorrow does give the nods to the older, like, that created our geekdom, our fandom, and stuff like that. And they do some of that with those little nods. Even you watch some stuff in the background where they do nods to, like, comics and other stuff with certain things that they do. I appreciate that show. They do a lot of homage to the fans, which is good.
And some really obscure, like, Easter eggs. Like, they had Animal Man in there at one point. And, like, he was in his, like, the actual comic gear, but he worked at, like, a circus. So,
oh, yeah, that was with Pete Barnum and Bailey, where they met the Barnum and Bailey guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Who was that, too, the Barnum and Bailey guy? That was Billy Zane?
I think it was Billy Zane.
Yeah, I think it was Billy Zane. I actually liked him in that role. I thought it was actually pretty cool. He played that. Phantom Nose.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if they brought him back into that.
Well, past Billy Zane, we'll go into something more fun. We'll get into something that actually started in April as a rumor, and Sony Pictures actually brought this back into light. Actually, the creators of One Punch Man are working with Sony Pictures to bring a live-action movie adaptation of One Punch Man. Venom script writers Scott Rosenberg and Jeff Pinkner are set to be on board. Fans are already speculating Ryan Reynolds will play the lead role due to his Deadpool and the fact that Detective Pikachu role that he just recently played. What do you guys think of this one?
I don't watch One Punch Man, so I don't know.
Michael, let's start with you then. You did watch Deadpool and Pikachu, so there's a start.
Yeah, well, I like Ryan Reynolds, and for the most part, you know, I enjoy most of the films that he's in.
Okay.
I'm a Ryan Reynolds fan. I like it. I mean, I like what he's done for his movie career and everything, Waiting and everything like that, and those movies from where he started to where he is now. I mean, minus Green Lantern, we just won't ignore that one.
Well, the next topic is going to Green Lantern. So once we're done with this one, we're getting right into DC Comics and Green Lantern.
The only downfall I feel is I think he's a little too old to play the character.
Okay. Because
the character looks like he's teens, early 20s, maybe under 25. Ryan is over 35, pushing 40, you know, kind of deal. I just don't see that. But if you want someone who could care less, quick whips, you know, that type of stuff, he's the guy for it. He's definitely one of them. I want to see them maybe go a little younger. That way they can grow the character a little bit. But we shall see. I mean, I've never actually seen the cartoon, and I just know the premise of it is he basically can defeat anybody with one punch. Like, seriously? Like, I find that a little far-fetched. And his daily exercise is what, 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups?
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay, I need to get on that regimen.
Could you imagine seeing like the workout video of Ryan Reynolds where he's doing 100 sit-ups and 100 push-ups? I think your box office is that alone of just like him doing 100 sit-ups and 100 push-ups, and there's a dollar fee.
Deadpool naked all the time. He was already doing that. So
the flashback scenes of those montages of him working out, all the women are going to love it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Sammy's down.
All right, let me get into
that.
I don't have my glasses. I was gonna put on. Oh no, I got Edith with me. Let me put on some Edith. Let me get Edith on. Now listen, I think this personality-wise, it doesn't really matter with him because if you Saitama in One Punch Man, he doesn't have much of a personality. He's infinitely bored. Because just he has like the strength of like Superman plus Jesus, like so he can like.
He's a prophet in his own words, pretty much.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be Ryan Reynolds. Honestly, I kind of imagine the character being Japanese. So let's get like a Japanese character or actor. Yes, let's be safe and make it sure nerd white America could be happy and get him like half white, half Japanese guy or something. But he has to be kind of young.
Yeah,
he has to be just getting out of high school, maybe early into like college years, and it's kind of a comedy. Yes, it is a like overexcited action comedy, but we don't need a Ryan Reynolds for that. Like Ryan Reynolds playing a character in there because the villains were more exciting, like personality wise, or like the side superheroes were more interesting than Saitama, like because he was just literally one word, answers for everything. Always had like a bored look on his face.
Well, mostly we grew up on one name character as always being the first one dead. This is the one time you get a one name character with no last name, and he's the hero.
Well, I guess. Wait, what is his whole name?
I don't remember. So he has a 4-part name. Oh shoot, I'm really bad at this one. But anyway, so you don't see Ryan Reynolds as the main actor. You don't want to see Ryan as One Punch Man. You want to see someone else who can play the snarky. I'm better than everyone else. I could do 100 sit-ups. Could you see?
He's not even snarky. He's literally deadpan. So like, you can get one of these get a Japanese pop singer. And just like teach him a couple like English lines if he doesn't speak English. Just be like, hey, dude, look as bored as you can.
Find K-pop singer. Is that what you're saying? Find one of the K-pop kids and just milk it.
But we've done it before with Ninja Assassin.
Oh yeah, Rain.
Yeah.
Rain. Like
that was about it.
But I kind of like that movie. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of see Zac Efron kind of sitting in that mix a little bit. I don't know about you guys. I see kind of Zac Efron kind of getting in that little role. He's young enough. He's at that age. He's kind of always played an underdog in all his movies, and him against other legends.
Zac Efron is like our age, dude.
No,
he looks young.
He's like early 30s.
Yeah, he looks young enough. And if you put him next to The Rock, here's The Rock.
Yeah, that's
Zac Efron.
That's everyone next to The Rock, though. Come on.
Look at me. I mean,
tiny even next to me. He's even tiny next to Jason. Actually, he's smaller than Sammy.
I mean, I'm not in the shape I used to be. I look good for my mid-40s, right?
You look good.
Right.
You look good.
I'm gonna be One Punch Man.
So, speaking of Ryan Reynolds and the
black man.
Well, speaking of Ryan Reynolds in the DC universe, DC's a little shocked right now that the #1 movie on HBO Max is Green Lantern. But recently, last Monday, we saw Zack Snyder release the first picture of Zack Snyder's cut of Darkseid. We got the rumor of Henry Cavill set to return as Superman, but he's not set to do the Man of Steel sequel just yet. We also got the rumor, since Ben Affleck is coming back to do the reshoots, he's getting a rumor that he may get a Batman series for the HBO Max. What do you guys think of all these crazy rumors happening? Jason, let's go with you.
Give them to me. Give it all to me.
Give it all.
give it to me all.
Including Ryan Reynolds coming back as Green Lantern.
Let's not go too far. All right.
Let's not get too hasty here.
And honestly, I say don't do that. What they should do is do John Stewart and get what's the name from Arrow.
Okay.
Yep.
And because they already hinted at it he has the Green Lantern powers now on the low. Because of Crisis. Because they were just like, here you go. Here's some glowing green rock. Here's a spaceship. He's like, what's this? And they were like, next scene. I'm like, oh, you mother.
Yep.
You gave us the hint already that this is the next Green Lantern. And
right.
It came in the form. But as far as Henry Cavill coming back and Ben Affleck, what do you think?
Oh yeah, yeah, baby. Like real talk, I love Henry as Superman. Like I think he is a great Superman. He's in all the Superman. Like as much as people down all of them, Brandon Routh did a great job. Like like, obviously Reeves is
Reeves is our number one for
that's the template.
Yep.
But I mean, come on. Like I loved Man of Steel. I don't care what anybody says. I loved Man of Steel. Yeah, I was all for it.
I don't like Superman, and I liked Man of Steel.
Okay.
It was nice, and it was nice to see him fight somebody. Because in the
How
other one,
he
he
killed him at the end. Spoiler alert.
Right. When Superman returns, he doesn't really fight anyone except for Lex Luthor's planet type atmosphere that he creates.
Right. Like he doesn't fight another super being. I was so excited to watch him and Zod get it in, and then like just seeing him fight the other Kryptonians, like that was so awesome. I was like, yes, finally a full action-packed Superman film.
Right.
So yeah, and Batman and Affleck is. I know I'm gonna make so many people mad. He is the best Batman we've ever had. He is what I call the truest to form Batman because he's the only one that you see actually fight.
Okay.
I used to fight, like I used to train and stuff like that. I go back and watch those other Batman movies. I can beat up every single one of them from Christian Bale on, because all Christian Bale. This is Christian Bale through 3 movies. That's all he does. Go back and watch the movies.
Right.
They made Batman a brawler. Affleck's Batman is a brawler, which is how he was in Dark Knight, the comic.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit partial to him being Batman only because his Batman design is partially based off of mine and Tommy's Batman design from when we did Batman, so I'm a little partial to seeing that on screen again. But out of all the Batmans, like he was an underdog that I'm like, oh, it's gonna suck. And then, I mean, he's like a very close second to Michael Keaton. And the only reason is because I just like Michael Keaton as an actor and person better than Ben Affleck, but visually, 100%
Ben.
Man.
He's the only one that actually looked like Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one that actually had the build of Batman, and that warehouse fight scene alone was
amazing
stuff. By the way, we got the preview of Ben looking like Bruce Wayne when he dated J-Lo. Let's just get that out of the way. When he showed up with the slick back hair and everything, Warner Brothers saw the vision years ago. We're just sitting there making fun of him because of Daredevil. Michael, what do you got?
To go with some of the stuff what Jason was saying,
right.
I agree with him on like the characters that they should bring into the DCU for the movie. I want to see, instead of Jon Stewart, I want them to do a Hal Jordan, but I want Hal Jordan to be a little bit older, like he's in his 40s, like they are. If you're going to do it that way, if all the characters are going to be around the same age, if not, bring in somebody like a Kyle Rayner, go a little bit younger, because that's how Justice League was formed. It should be there. They could go with Jon Stewart, and I have no problems with playing John Diggle if you're going to do it. That character, I can't remember his name for the life of me. If it's not, David Ramsey. If it's not going to be David Ramsey, I want Common. I think Common could play Jon Stewart perfect if it's not going to be David Ramsey. I think that would be a good fit. I'm down with Cavill as Superman. I love the character. Routh, I thought, did an okay job. That script was just doomed from the start.
Right.
That script was horrible. There was nothing saving it. Zach Penn did it, and I think he just didn't give a crap, and he wanted to be part of Superman. So he did it. Batfleck, one of the best Batmans that they've done, and he does have that look of the Dark Knight, where I looked at that older Batman, the Dark Knight Returns, that one, I wanted that look. He had that perfectly set. As far as them doing everything with the movies, I'm hoping that this will lead to Batman becoming a series on HBO Max, where we actually get Batman in his Batman gear. We don't see the little kid that grew up to basically be the vigilante or nothing. And now with Batwoman, they just introduced Batman for next season. Hopefully we get to see him in the suit or maybe something along those lines. It's not just a one-off episode that he's just there for the season premiere and then we get rid of him. Because if that's the case, that's the first time Batman will appear on regular TV in a TV series if he dons the suit, which could be, epic.
The problem with that is cost.
The what?
The problem is cost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think with HBO, but if HBO does it right with the Max program and they're giving Zack Snyder, what, $30 million plus to finish this movie, they will dump the money into it if Affleck and whatnot, if that series comes out right. If that gets critically acclaimed and people go bonkers and that series goes through the roof, they're going to dump money on Affleck. They're going to dump money on Cavill. They're going to dump money on all those guys. They're sticking around. There's no doubt about that.
Ben Affleck was originally signed on to Warner Brothers with a multi-year contract for him to write Batman.
Yep.
Will his contract be reinstated, we'll say, due to HBO Max?
We'll have to see. Truthfully,
I think a lot of it hinges on just how well received the Snyder Cut.
Yep.
I think like as they get closer and they start teasing and bringing more and more in and seeing how the fans are taking it, one way or the other, I think is going to really depend on how much money they're going to really sink into it. Because them, just like every other company, has hit the wall when it's come because of the pandemic. So they don't have money to lose.
No.
And just like Disney, they don't have money to lose anymore.
Right.
So I think they're going to be a lot smarter with their decisions. I think more than they used to be, because I feel like Warner Brothers was just like, slap Batman on it, slap Superman on it. We'll call it a day. The fans will fucking like it. Who cares if it makes sense?
Right.
I mean, that's the feel that you've gotten over the last decade and a half of Batman, and a little bit of Superman, like some of the stuff that they did. But I think a lot of it hinges on what the Snyder Cut is gonna reveal. That if the industry even like the film industry even wants it anymore.
I think one way HBO Max could keep their costs down is by bringing in over the top superhero special effects wise. So Joe Manganiello is rumored to be Deathstroke in the Batman series that could go forward. That wouldn't be bad. Those are just a couple of fight scenes. You're going to be more like a CW show with some of the action sequences. They're not going to go over the top, but you'll have a little bit of special effects. I can't see anything wrong with that.
I'm not against that.
I think Deathstroke would be a good character for him to fight and be an equal in a way. It could definitely do an 8-episode arc of it and move on from there. One thing I want to know is what's everyone's opinion on Darkseid? Because I personally thought the first image I saw, that looks like a bad something from Mad Max. It just looks horrible.
I didn't see it. Hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah, it looks too far away. It's not really a great picture.
Look, they did that on purpose. They were like, go way back.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Way back. So they can't make out the look because they want to look at the reaction of that post.
Right.
And pretty much pull a Sonic and try and
so
it's more.
Well, right now, the way it looks, I think that looks horrible. If they zoom in on that, that's going to be like, why is this from Mad Max? Like some really bad giant actor in a suit.
Exactly. Like Sammy said, you can't even see it.
That's
He
the
looks
point.
like he's naked he looks like a gladiator.
It
Well,
looks
that's the
like
thing,
Demon
he is a
He-Man. if He-Man and a demon.
I'm looking at my screen, forgetting the screen's there. I'm like, I can't see it.
Well, you guys think that they're pulling off the same way how Sonic did. Every fan complained. The studio threw in the extra couple millions of dollars just to save face. Is this versions of Warner Brothers saving face by using HBO Max to pick up the tab?
Yes.
I mean, that's the way I've always looked at it, is the fact that Warner Brothers stunk, and now HBO is picking up the extra slab. But is it really too little too late, in my opinion? Or are we just, let's see what this happens and let's give it some hope? Jason, you're shaking your head. What's up?
This is a smart move on them because right now the DCEU not the AU, but the EU, is now listed under the trash fire.
Right.
So they need something to come back and save them. And the thing that would save them and, in a sense, can fix, because if this gets popular enough, they might go and be like, hey, Flashpoint, because that's their plan. They're not going to put out, I got a whole theory for it. They're not going to put out the Flashpoint movie until they see how well the Snyder Cut does. And then they're going to use the Flashpoint to be the reason why the stuff from the Snyder Cut is now considered canon, and then that's their way of fixing everything in the DCEU, like their cinematic universe and all that stuff. Trust me, they got this planned.
If they do Flashpoint, can we get a different Flash too? Because I'm sorry, Ezra Miller is just horrendous. That dude is not
like the Flash. I do not like his Flash.
Nope.
I think. Again, this is why Flashpoint's going to be important, because that's why they did that in Crisis, because they showed the different worlds and they had Ezra Miller and Grant like up there shaking hands and all that stuff. So now they both exist in the universe because, Speed Force and running and all that stuff.
It did something that I thought would be some kind of cool. Now think about it. If they were to pick Flash, if anything, Ryan Reynolds could have played him. I think Ryan Reynolds could have played Flash.
Yeah. Barry Allen, yeah.
I saw more of the Green Arrow, to be honest.
No.
Sarcastic.
No, Green Arrow is way too like playboy, full of himself, and
that is Ryan.
That's Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan, but Green Arrow wasn't as quick-witted.
No,
Green Arrow is not like he's like the Batman of archers.
Yeah, but it depends on who's the writer, because in Justice League Unlimited, he did quip a bit because he was like, if Batman was snarky, because like he would joke with Black Canary, he would go on weird missions with the Question, and he'd be like, "Look, man, I got nothing to tell you." Like he would just be like, "Yo, I'm busy right now." He's actually eating a hot dog or something like that. Like he had his moments, but I don't say it would be a waste to have Ryan Reynolds as Green Arrow. I think it would be a blessing to have him as Flash.
Yes.
Because that personality if the Flash is funny, you can win.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think it would be a good set for him like that, because look what he did with Deadpool.
Right.
Now you look at it, you picture Deadpool. Can you picture anybody else playing that besides Ryan Reynolds?
No, you pictured him. You pictured him from the first time you saw him in Wolverine, going, "Okay, nope, saw it since day one. Now we get it."
Even with the clothes,
just that version of that was horrible. It looked like a bad, like they combined Baraka from Mortal Kombat with Flash, and what? Why?
And he had Cyclops' powers. Like, what is going on? Like,
something different.
There is a book. I don't remember which one it is. There is an episode where Deadpool has Cyclops' powers. It's in one of the books. I don't remember which one. At one point, Deadpool at one point does have it. So
but you know what I mean? Like here, that's a reach, because they still didn't bring up the teleportation in the other Deadpool movies.
No.
Because he has.
Well, I think in the teleportation, he basically in that one where he played the original Deadpool in that, didn't he have like Nightcrawler's powers somehow?
Yeah.
In the Wolverine movie, he did have Nightcrawler's powers. Yes.
It's like giving me a headache. I'm getting a migraine just talking about
that. That was a total donkey show. Like,
right.
Oh yeah,
we all have PTSD from that one.
All right.
Even Ryan
Reynolds. Yep.
On to something more, since all you guys seem to need some doctors lately. We'll get some Doctor Who news. Apparently, David Tennant and Tom Baker are part of a full cast audio drama. They will be playing their original Doctors, 10 and 4. We find it a particular point in their lives where Dr. 10 is avoiding his destiny, and the fourth Doctor is wandering alone, missing a friend. And they may be shocked at the future that he holds. This is a new Doctor Who audio series that's supposed to be coming out in August of 2020. there'll be more releases with future doctors releasing with different stories and different scenarios between different doctors. So what do you guys think of this? We don't get a full action movie or TV series out of it. We get the Ninth Doctor and the 10th Doctor in in an old school drama book where they're playing themselves.
Where is it releasing to?
Like books on tape, wherever your audiobooks are on.
Like Audible and those kinds of things.
Those kind of things, yeah.
Yeah.
I was never a Doctor Who fan, so the last time I saw a Doctor Who, it was the Doctor with the horrendously long scarf.
That's Doctor 4.
Wait.
Tom Baker.
There you go.
That's Tom Baker?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That. And my dad watched it, and I fell asleep a lot.
Okay.
But I love David Tennant as an actor. So, yay
Marty
for
Crouch
giving me
Jr.
more work.
Yeah.
What?
Well, some people say Tom Baker is the best Doctor, of course, because if everyone watched the series, this is the Tom Baker that everyone's grew up watching, of course. But I feel like since HBO Max currently has the Doctor Who series, this is a book on tape. This reminds me of the old 20s and 30s where they were doing the acting into scenarios and narrations.
Sure.
This reminds me of that. I feel something good happening, but if this does really well, is this a missed opportunity for HBO Max of doing a Doctor Who spinoff? Jason?
Yeah, they could have did a dope crossover, and that would have made them so much money.
Right, because we don't have a Doctor Who right now.
The heck with this audio drama. Look, I like that because I'm actually trying to work on an audio drama thing, but like, so I'm all for it. You know, yeah, it's voice acting. You know, like,
right.
Trying to keep jobs. But that would have been so dope to see that visually. You know, if you're gonna do any voice stuff with David Tennant, keep him back in Disney because I need him to come back for another season of DuckTales. Like
Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck, yo, he's killing it. That show is so fire.
I love it.
I'll choose that over the audio drama. Like I'm not that big of a fan at all of Doctor Who, and you got to be a really dope concept for me to care enough to listen to the audio drama. So you already got 2 X's. I don't know if it's gonna work.
I mean, we'll see how things go. I mean, it could be like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, where they made a spinoff and it ended up on Broadway. It got greenlit, and now the movie's going to come out. Could it be like one of those scenarios where, if these do very well, could the actors come in and make a series out of it, or a one-timer? Michael?
See, me, I'm not a Doctor Who fan at all.
Okay.
I've tried watching different versions throughout the years and tried. I think the acting's poor, the special effects, the background. A Dalek is a giant, cumbersome, like, what the hell is that? A pyramid crap thing with a little minor alien? No, I'm sorry. This is poor writing, and fans, God bless you all that love it. I just can't get into it. Okay. I will watch Star Trek series after series after series because I felt like it was like that in a way. They combined Quantum Leap with like Star Trek in a way. With all stuff. I couldn't get into it. I just could not.
Bring back Quantum Leap.
Right now that I could get down, I could get behind. I think they did miss an opportunity here because they do. But see, I think the one downfall to it is Doctor Who is a niche group of fans, and they are very rabid fans for it. But now you're putting audiobook. Okay, you have a niche group of fans that are going to listen to that. You're an opportunity to put on HBO Max where you have a mass broad appearance and opportunity to really get to the masses. I think you missed the opportunity there, and you're going to come in later down the road. No one's going to care down the road 2-3 years from now if they jumped out on it right up from the get-go, especially after what was it? Tenet was in that was it Prime series, I think, where he played like the devil and Jesus.
Okay, yeah. Omen.
Yeah, Omen. Like you could have bid off that and did that with him for this for HBO Max. So you could have really got some popularity towards that character and maybe really grew it on the HBO Max series for people that didn't watch it. I'm not a big Doctor Who fan, but hey, I mean, if they put it on Max, it came out cool and special effects look good. Maybe I tune in and watch it, but I doubt it.
Jason, he's holding something back. Go for it, Jason.
He does look like he's like he wants to leap.
I'm an old man. I just, black don't crack. But like, I remember Baker. I remember watching that and going like, yeah, that's cool. What's up with the giant vacuums? Like, all right, cool. Like, I watched it when I was younger, but I watched a lot of weird stuff on it. I was watching Are You Being Served? Like,
I love Are You Being Served? That's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, I love that show. So I'm watching all of these other shows and like, I don't know. Okay. I think it's a wasted opportunity. They could literally knock it out the park if they had made this, even if it was like a special. Like they've done enough Christmas specials and all these other things. Make a one-shot special and just.
You can make a movie of an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute movie. You'd probably clean up like Netflix would do. You'd clean up on that. Or
even like a quick six miniseries, which a lot of people have done real quick just to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
But that sucker, have that be on HBO Max, boy.
Yeah.
Combine that with the Snyder Cut, I will buy.
In a bigger budget, a little bit more money. You're going to bet better special effects. You're probably going to get some more actors that are going to want to jump on. You have an opportunity there.
But here's a quick thing: if it's not going to be live action, would you see it as an animation as well too? Would you be okay with that?
I wouldn't.
Animation, I'd probably tune in
for it.
Right, animation, you tune in. So Mike says yes on animation. Jason,
I'd watch it, but I'm not paying for it.
Right. It's on HBO Max. Does it matter? Sammy?
Not till it comes out, then I probably wouldn't be paying for it.
Right.
But for Jay, if he's
interested me much, like in any format. So, like not even the porn. So.
Right. So. All right. So she's 50-50. Jason gives it a 1.5, and Michael's all in it. Speaking of ages, since Jason liked to talk about ages. At the age of 53, Mike Tyson wants one more, well, many more pretty much. While undefeated Tyson Fury has answered the call, fans want to see a rematch with Evander Holyfield, and now UFC light heavyweight champion Tito Ortiz wants in on the fight. What do you guys think of the 53-year-old Mike Tyson wanting to come back to have a few more matches?
Good for him.
I mean, Jason's grinning from ear to ear. What you got for me, man?
Yeah, listen. I love watching fights and stuff like that. I got to like sit in like because I used to do we met in like AC and all that stuff. Like
we finally got to meet face to face in AC. Yes.
Yeah, and I do all the coverage. I used to do all the coverage of all the MMA and like boxing and all that stuff. And watching this stuff live and seeing like the real deal, like front and row, sitting by the ring, like watching it, and then seeing Tyson in video. He's gonna murder someone on accident, and I am for it. And Evander, no, he should not do this.
Right.
Holyfield, I know he wants to keep up with the Joneses, but he finna die in the ring like Apollo Creed. Like I don't want that to happen.
Right. His first fight will probably be with Tyson Fury. His second fight, as people like to say jokingly, it'll end up in Saudi Arabia with him against. This is a WWE thing with him against Evander Holyfield, and then the fact that former UFC light heavyweight champion Tito Ortiz wants in, still kind of Sammy's laughing. What do you think?
That's what I'm laughing at.
right. Give up came back. 4 days and then Tyson.
Listen, the thing that people aren't realizing is because they're just seeing Tyson back in like fighting and stuff like that.
Right.
For the past few years, he's been doing kung fu films.
Right.
Like, he was there with doing.
He was in Ip Man 4.
He was in Ip Man 3.
Ip Man 3, sorry.
And to see him move in that, like
he still has other fighters with a different style. He's still fast. He can move.
He's faster than these young guys that are out there in their prime. Because since there's no Tyson out there in boxing, especially heavyweight boxing,
right.
These guys are just being slobs all over the place. They don't have anything to really fear.
And I agree with you on that because I grew up watching Tyson fight. I remember watching him beat Michael Spinks in like 90 seconds the first round.
Yeah, I used to put bets. We used to put bets on how quick he would like knock somebody out. Like you like how many rounds? One.
And you got kids now that sitting there watching that like, oh man, he's a look. If you want to go toe to toe, Tyson Fury, yes, he has the height and the reach. But if you get Tyson a shot to give him some body blows, he's gonna mess that dude's ribs up. That kid is not gonna breathe, and he's gonna come up with that quick uppercut. It's chin music. He's on the mat. Holyfield, sorry, stay in the nursing home. You're not coming out for that. You're not fighting Tyson. Tyson is hungry. He's 53 years old, man. I don't want to see that man in a wheelchair in a coma. I think he'd still kick my ass. Like
Tyson found a new calm, and that's the fear. Tyson found a new calm. Sammy's agreeing on something. What you got?
I'm agreeing on what? I laughed.
Shaking your head. I said Mike Tyson's got a new calm, and that's the new fear.
Yeah, well, there's like I am not an avid boxing fan,
right?
But I have seen my fair share of various things, and there's when it comes to men and growing older, and when they have their youth full of piss and vinegar, and they've fought tooth and nail to get to where they are, they hit an age where they just don't, pardon my language, but they just don't give a fuck. Right. And they have this Zen calm, and they know what they can do. They have the experience of it. But like, I think he's going to be a much different fighter, obviously, than he was I know Oliver. Oliver likes these things that I'm saying. He agrees. Than he was in his youth, because one, he's not as quick. Right. I mean, I'm sure he's probably just as strong, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how he fights, because he's not going to be able to fight, balls to the wall like he did. So it'll be interesting to see it, like how much more strategic he is, and if he's a smarter fighter.
Right.
And hopefully he will be.
So Sam is going with who's going to be on his side as trainers and who's going to really prepare him for the fight. And that's the really true.
That's the only way he's going to, thank you. That's the only way he is going to be able to survive. Aside from the fear of, oh, fuck, I'm in the ring with Mike Tyson. Right. That will only bring you so far. And much like everything else, what's the plan after you get hit? Right. So that's,
as Tyson said. Tyson said everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
That's right. And
he's that dude to punch somebody in the face. You're going to see some stars, and I still think he's got pop in his fight. Oh, and definitely. I agree with Jason when he was saying how some of these heavyweights, they are just that, heavyweights. They're just heavy. You don't look at them all cut like he came out. Buster Douglas beat him back in the day, and everyone looked at Buster Douglas like, who's this bus driver that just came into the ring and he's going to fight Tyson? Tyson looks like, chiseled athlete, and he beat him.
That's what the Great White Hope was. The fight, that movie that made fun of Mike Tyson was the Great White Hope, which was him losing to a fighter that was overweight, and you weren't paying attention to how he fought.
Yeah, I think Tyson can do well. I'd like to see the Tito Ortiz match, because that's a different style of fighting with MMA and stuff. Can he go blow for blow with Tyson punch wise? I don't. No.
Okay.
But
since Michael and Jason are on this, so does anyone remember when he fought? Oh my God. Who's the guy from England? He's really freaking nice. Mike Tyson's last fight. I'm trying to remember.
I thought Tyson's last fight was against Holyfield when he bit
his last fight.
He had a couple fights after that.
Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was his last fight, and Lennox Lewis, Tyson Fury sort of fights similar, but a lot slower than Lennox Lewis. And Lennox Lewis learned to throw the jab on Tyson. Do we see this fight happening where the guy of size has learned to keep a distance on the guy that's a really strong and sharp uppercut?
He's got to use that reach to his advantage in combo. If he doesn't, he's dead. He's going to be dead in the ring. Tyson wants to get body. He wants to get those body blows. And watch Tyson, because if you watch Tyson's fights, he always likes to do the little head thing when he goes in for the tight shots. Right. He's going to whack him in the chin. He's going to bop and then just pop him in the jaw. That's what Tyson does. I'd like to see the fight. I think it'd be kind of cool. and how much the pay-per-view is will determine whether I buy it or not. You know,
Jason.
I'm for it. I want to see it. Tyson is a different Tyson.
Right.
I saw a comment come up from Mike earlier about Tyson when he bit off Holyfield's ear and all that stuff. That was during his crazy days. Because when he had his like father figure there, like his father there training him,
Right.
he was focused and he was a monster. Like
Right.
everyone who got in the ring knew they were gonna lose. They just wanted to make sure they didn't lose too badly.
Right.
But then when he died, that's when he kind of fell off the rails and started acting crazy and started getting into all kinds of trouble.
So you have his original trainer era, then you have the Don King era, then you have after prison era, which is still a little crazy. He reminded me more of Dennis Rodman, because instead of him painting his hair every freaking time, he ended up with a tattoo on his face.
Right. But now he's a whole different person. I don't know if you know, he did like a live show, almost like a stand-up routine.
Yeah.
He did it in
That was on HBO.
Yeah, it was on HBO.
Directed by Spike Lee.
Yep.
Yeah. He did it. He did a couple appearances in Philly doing it. He did he toured and did it for a couple spots. But it was like he kind of came to this realization and this understanding of who he is, the mistakes he's made, and all this other stuff. And he was like, ever since then, he's been doing nothing but doing awesome stuff, trying to better himself, to make himself focused. So he's like a mature version of his sharp prime.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and this guy, he even makes fun of himself.
I mean, Cartoon Network gave him his own series.
And
how did you get that?
That cartoon,
the Mysteries?
That cartoon is so friggin' hilarious. Yeah. I have fallen out of a chair watching that show. Like, and
that show is so wrong. It's so funny.
Yeah, but if you watch to the end credits, he always does something where he makes fun of himself. Like he makes fun of his lisp. He makes fun of all this different stuff. Like he's in a different mindset. And if he gets into that ring, he's focused now. Yeah, he gonna beat the piss off of somebody.
All right. So last thing, how long do you think the fight's gonna last against Tyson Fury? Jason, go first.
I say 5 rounds.
5 rounds. Sammy.
We'll see.
All right. Mike?
I'm kind of with him. I think it's 5-6 rounds. It all depends on, if Tyson can get the body blows early, beat him down. If not, maybe Tyson Fury could go longer because he's been boxing a few, now currently. His stamina might be a little bit better.
Right.
I think 5-6 rounds, I think, is what it's going to be. I don't know if it's a TKO or anything. That I can't tell. I don't know which way.
I got 2 theories. 1, Tyson in 3. And I see Fury in 8, depending on how far it goes. Reason why I say Tyson in 8 is because Fury's never had a good uppercut under his jaw. All it takes is one punch. Mm-hmm. If Mike Tyson gets Fury on that one uppercut, I see lights out for him. But I also see stamina being that key issue. If Mike Tyson hasn't been in the ring long enough, that stamina is going to be in. Ring rust is true.
Oh yeah.
So let's see how long that ring rust lasts. Right? Now let's get to something more fun, interesting. How many guys love Labyrinth? Everyone's heard the great news about Labyrinth and things like that. Everyone's so excited. All right. So this is what the whole crook is about and what everyone's going crazy. Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson is set to direct the sequel to Labyrinth. Fans are already throwing their names to see who would play the iconic David Bowie role of the Goblin King. So far, Tilda Sweden has been number 1, while other fans are screaming for Lady Gaga. Mm-hmm. So, Mike's already shaking his head first. I mean, this is a singing role. I haven't heard Tilda sing. I've seen her play David. I've seen her play. What was his name?
The Ancient One.
No. Oh my God! Why am I thinking of his? I'm blanking.
Gabriel?
Name. Huh?
Gabriel?
No, she played a guy in another movie.
Yeah. Yes.
I know you're talking about too. I can't think of the name of the movie too, but I know what you're talking
Bob
about.
Dylan. She played Bob Dylan in a previous movie.
Yeah, and she was one of the actors to pick up the rest of Heath Ledger's part.
Okay,
that movie.
Okay, see that I didn't know either. So because she's done male acting roles, and they see you're getting a costume and to play the character very well, people see it as that. Sammy and Mike quickly shook their head when they heard Lady Gaga's name. You guys excited about having a Labyrinth? Everyone's excited to see, this getting picked up from where last left off. Mike, go first.
I'm sorry. The original Labyrinth with David Bowie was a classic in its day. I think remaking it, well, not remaking, but a sequel to it is kind of like no. But if you're going to, I want at least a person that could play the Goblin King almost true to the way he does.
Right.
And I think Tilda Swinton could do it. I think Kate Blanchett could do it.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't mind Charlize Theron. Somebody like that tall, skinny, looks the role could be a powerful thing. Singing, yes, I get it, but it doesn't have to be like they're belting out at the Emmys or something like that and they're looking for an award for it. I look at Lady Gaga. I just don't know. I love her singing. I think she's amazing. I love the Star is Born movie she was in. I thought she did a great job. I just don't see her playing that particular role. I think it's a bad casting. People want it because it's Lady Gaga. She's wild. She's weird. She's out there. And her outfits and costumes, congrats. That's what she has. I don't think she could do that role. And if she doesn't do it well, that's going to be horrible for that movie. Well, not end of her career, but it will be tough for her to get another role in Hollywood again as an acting role if that goes horribly. This, I think, could be a better series if maybe they did like a Netflix series, not a movie.
All right, Sammy?
I want to see Tilda do it. I know, and she's done stage, like Kate Blanchett, all of the women that you mentioned also have singing experience as well, because they've all done, British theater, and there's a lot of singing, in regards to that. But if it's going to be a sequel, like a direct sequel, then, and it's the same Goblin King, then I agree with you. It's got to be, Tilda or someone with the acting chops to play the same character. I've seen Gaga act, and she's a decent actress,
right.
but she makes the roles like hers.
Right.
It's an original role that's meant for her. She's never picked up someone else's character or someone else's role and followed in their footsteps. It's always been an original character that nobody stepped foot in. And she needs to, her type of branding is to make the character hers. So if they're going to make a completely different Goblin King, like it's not the same David Bowie character and it's a new one, we'll see how it goes. But if they're pulling in the same character, then definitely. And I just like Tilda as an actress way better than Gaga anyway. She's just epic. And I think she'll play it perfectly. And she's androgynous because that was Bowie's whole thing, was being androgynous. All the other women that have been previously mentioned are not androgynous. They all have curves. She's androgynous. She knows that, and she plays it well, and she uses it in her acting. As Gabriel, and especially as Gabriel, that's the perfect example.
Right.
But I think more importantly, is the cod piece going to return? Is really what everybody wants to know.
Hey.
I mean, I grew up with Labyrinth. It was, as a kid, it was one of my favorite films. As an adult, it is what it is. It's, I don't know how they're going to make a sequel unless it's a completely different storyline and the only thing that's the same is the Goblin King. But, it's whatever. I mean, we'll see what happens. It could be awesome or it could be shit.
Right. Jason?
I agree with Sammy. Like, the other names mentioned, they look like women. Like, like you need that androgynous kind of like energy where you're just like, you are this being. We don't necessarily know or care if you're male or female. You're just this. You are this person. You fit they. And if they do this, I love Gaga. I think she's awesome. I think her acting is cool because I loved her in American Horror Story. Like she killed it in that. Star is Born is kind of easy because it was just like, hey,
It was her.
like
She's
it
a
was
her.
but for this, I think it would be too much like, oh, this is Gaga playing as the Goblin King. Like you would just see Gaga every time you look at it. Yeah, the costuming could be cool. Just because she wears cool costuming doesn't mean she's perfect for every fantasy story in the world. But
just because it's called the meat dress doesn't mean that she can actually pull it off. Doesn't mean she can actually cook. It's
right.
So simple as that.
So you're right, exactly. So with Tilda, Tilda Swinton is like awesome. Like I think that's the only person that's out right now that could pull it off to make it a sequel.
I can give you one more person. What about Eddie Redmayne?
Okay.
Eddie Redmayne plays female characters, and he's kind of androgynous in a way. Yeah. He looks very feminine in a way, but he's a male and some stuff. He could do it. It's Newt Scamander from Harry Potter, so I don't know if he would want that role, but he could probably, I think, pull it off just as well.
Yeah,
he could. I think part of it though is
she kind of looks like Bowie though. She's got the angular face with the long features. Her coloring minus the the heterochromia is pretty much the same too. So I think that's why everybody jumped on her as that.
Go back to the singing. We also have to go back to the singing. She doesn't have that baritone voice that Bowie has.
Yeah, but you could easily just get somebody to sing for her. The dawn of fucking musicals.
But yeah, they do that all the time. Like, come on. Let's look at every Disney movie. There's the voice actor that's the actor of the role.
And then there's the singing actor.
The person that sings the role.
And
they're
the
same person.
Yeah.
Fair, because we'll get it like as we got Rhapsody, pretty much. Where the actors are the acting, forget the singing because we don't need you for the singing.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the question: would it be cheesy? Would it feel extra cheesy if they brought back the singing? Just because I'm a black guy, so like Labyrinth was not my thing. That was totally. All I know is every white girl I knew loved Labyrinth, and I think it was the codpiece. Like I think that was like a good.
Well,
I'm surprised when cosplay.
Being a white girl, like having watched it past prepubescence, there was sort of this, like as an adult and you watch it, David Bowie is very sensual, and there's this whole like I want to sexually have you vibe, like from him to her. And like you don't really see it as a kid. You're just like, oh, okay, whatever, Goblin King. But like as you get older and you watch it, like it's there. He wants to have her in multiple.
Well, that's because of back then it wasn't as big, and now as of today, as we can say,
not overt. Like
we can't have that.
No,
right. But he had a level of like sensuality with him, even as himself, as a person, because basically the Goblin King wasn't a character. It was David Bowie with blonde hair and eyeshadow surrounded by Muppets. Like that was the Goblin King. So like he was a very sensual, ambisexual person. I don't know what the proper term is. I think it's sexual. But and he just made that the Goblin King, so like it was like I think that's why a lot of women liked it, because it's that pre-Twilight effect.
Yeah, there you go. That was the Twilight of y'all generation.
My generation.
Anyway,
I don't get Twilight now.
Let's get to something that's more Jason-esque. We'll get into some Spider-Man news. J.K. Simmons recently reported that he will be reprising the role of J. Jonah Jameson. He has a multi-year contract to go into future Spider-Man films. Jason, since you are a huge Spider-Man fan,
yes.
how do you feel about the J. Jonah Jameson as as J.K. Simmons coming back from the original Spider-Man series to, the last Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you right now, I'm a professional.
Uh-huh.
And I was up there. They had me at a private screening for it. For
Spider-Man.
Every Marvel, every nerdy thing I do. But they had me at Far From Home. I was excited. I had to put on my Spider-Man out. And when I saw that scene where J. Jonah popped up on that screen, I lost all sense of professionalism. I was like, my dude! I literally screamed. I was like, yeah, buddy! I was acting a whole fool. I was acting like Little John, and it was terrible, but it made my heart so happy. But it sucked because I saw the movie like way in advance, and I could not tell anybody about it.
That's like the worst feeling. Like you have something, and every time you see another Spider-Man fan, you have that. It's growing inside you. Going, I want to tell you something, but I can't. I want to tell you something, but I can't.
Oh my gosh. You know how many emails and stuff I have gotten of stuff, and I was like, huh? And I'm like, well, can't talk about that for like a year. Like
Michael can easily tell you the private conversations I had that happened in front of him about certain things. And here I am going, I can't say crap, this freaking sucks,
Yeah.
Sammy, what do you think?
I think it's awesome.
Okay.
He's a perfect Jameson.
Right? You like the hair piece on him every single time he puts it on, now being a podcaster in the current series and in him doing future versions of himself.
I think I like it. I love what's awesome about him is that he likes and is a fan of his own character.
He's actually, the report came out that he is a huge Spider-Man fan.
But that's what I mean. Like he's a fan of the character, and I love when actors like Hugh Jackman. He originally was not a Wolverine fan when he auditioned for the role, but then became a gigantic Wolverine fan, like learning about the character and everything. And I think that creates the best sort of performance, because if you're a smart actor, you can be a fan and then give other fans what they want in.
Wait, you're saying this while Nicolas Cage is a huge Ghost Rider fan and owns all the #1 Ghost Riders that I've ever created and has picked up every art from every artist of Ghost Rider?
Yeah, but it's Nick Cage.
I mean,
he's also a Superman fan.
Oh yeah.
He did actually voice Superman in one of the animated cartoons, and in Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
Which is effing hilarious. That thing is so meta. It's just like hearing him be Superman with that goofy animation worked amazing.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious and brilliant. But that's the thing about it is like when you're a fan of what you're working on, you produce because you're happy about it. You're producing a better performance or a better piece or whatever. So I love that. I also like the fact that actors aren't afraid to say, yeah, I've been a Dungeons and Dragons fan for my whole life, or yeah, I love Wolverine, or I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Like it's not a closet thing to be anymore. Yeah. So you find out more and more actors are into whatever they're doing because studios are like, yeah, go for it, go run and.
Like the recent photo of Joe's house, and Vince Vaughn is in the background playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like the recent photo at Joe's house where Vince Vaughn is in the background playing Dungeons and Dragons with the guys.
I mean, Vin Diesel has had a D&D clause in every movie contract since he became a big name actor, and he gets like a weekend a month. Every month he's filming to fly home and play Dungeons and Dragons for 3 days with his friends. He
did do the one movie where it was all
Witch Hunter.
Yeah,
Witch Hunter.
Yeah, Witch Hunter.
They made a whole. I mean, for God's sakes, they made like a class after that film in D&D. Like, there's a whole expansion. So, like, I love that people are showing their nerd, especially actors, because you look at them, back in the day, like they were manly men. Or they were the epitome of female elegance. And that was it. So I like that we're breaking those sorts of Precisely. You're more lady than I am. But I like the fact that
Dave
we're
Bogan over here.
breaking those sort of stereotypes and roles.
And Michael, what do you think of Simmons?
I
When are
love
we
the
gonna get
dude.
Simmons at a Comic-Con?
I love the dude, man. I'm a huge fan of him. I love him in everything he's done. Juno, where he played the dad, I thought was probably one of his best roles. I love that dude. I think he's great. And now that he's going to be part of the Spider-Man universe for a few more, I'm down with it. And he has that role. I just want to see the cigar chomping. That's what where he's got that cigar in his mouth and stuff like that.
Well, they're not going to do that now.
To a rated R, can't even do that anymore.
Yeah. I know.
Rated R.
Yeah, automatic cigar and cigarettes are automatic rated R because the age restrictions of their age restriction. You have to be 17 to watch a rated R movie. You have to be 18, 19 years old, depending on the state, to have a cigarette. So the age restriction, if you want an automatic R, put cigarette in the movie. Huh?
So that's then the weird thing is then so you have to be 18 for that rated R, but alcohol that doesn't count.
Right.
You have to be 21. Like that seems a bit asinine and redundant.
Blame it on the rating system because on Supernaturals a few times with a 6-year-old had a beer just to kill a demon. I mean that's a little strange in my opinion.
Welcome to the FCC.
Right.
Yeah, right. But I love the guy. I think he's perfect as
one more thing to say about the J. Jonah Jameson thing.
No, I just know that energy. Like I have that energy. I love that energy when you work on something that you're a fan of.
Right.
Like that's why I'm purposefully wearing this little patch right here.
Well, why don't you explain to people your patch? And I believe you're holding one of your helmets.
Yes.
Is that a helmet? I saw like 20 minutes ago that you're holding a helmet in your hand, and I think you want to talk about it real quick. So we'll give it a quick second. You tell us about your new project real quick.
All right, so I made a tabletop. I made a trading fighting card game,
right,
based on the whole Tokusatsu Sentai. All right, for those who don't know what I'm saying, Power Ranger type stuff. And like this is one of the patches by K20 Custom. Got to give him a shout out. He made these, and they're freaking awesome. And then like I actually have one of the helmets from the show, from our show commercial, all our live action stuff. And I'm working with the Power Rangers, dude. Like I'm making my own Power Rangers, and I get to hang out with the Power Rangers. And
I remember a couple of guys posted that they wish they had the card game already out so they could play during these times. Yeah.
Like the Power Rangers are like, "Yo, what's up? You hook a brother up with some of these cards?" I'm like,
What's diverse about Jason's card game, which no one actually gets to know, is that all the Power Rangers are one figure. He's actually made it like the old school ice hockey games where you got the skinny guy, the average guy, to actually chubby guy on his card game. So there is one of each different fighter in his little card game series.
Yeah, it's kind of like a way to knock the way people like mock cosplayers, especially women who are cosplayers when they cosplay as like Rogue or Wonder Woman, whoever, and they're like, those neckbeards are like, oh, she's out of shape. And I'm like, you're not even a shape, dude. Like, but all right, cool, whatever. So I decided to like, there's so many people who like to wear spandex. So I was like, yo, rock it. Like, and I'm just like, here's a plus size, Sentai. So I don't want to say Power Ranger, but a hero in spandex.
Right.
There's plus size. There's a female like character. There's a male character. There's, you know what I mean? Like, there's. The genders are split pretty like kind of in the middle. Like there's like 9 characters, 4 of them are women, and they're different body types. There's a plus size one, I like them thick, so you got to throw a thick one in there. You got a slim John in there. I like them slim too. You know what I mean? Like
you've covered all genres, all sizes, we'll say, and all on one fun trading card where heroes versus the villains in a traditional card game.
Yeah, it's like if Street Fighter and Power Rangers had a baby and snuck in a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh on the side when no one was looking.
Fair. Fair. That's a great
dirtier than I wanted it to.
Well, is there a release date for your card game, or was there a release date for your card game?
Actually, because of the pandemic,
Right.
the factories and all that stuff, everything's on hold. So I didn't even want to. I was going to put out a Kickstarter where people can actually like do a tier where they actually become canon to the universe. So in the game and the animation and all that stuff, like your name and likeness will be in the story when the character like takes off the helmet.
Hey, I'm in. I'm in.
How much for my likeness in this?
Right. but can you add a line for his hair?
Yeah, I need a little more here though. I just need a little more here.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. We got Photoshop. Like, we got
Give him the Superman hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'll give him the Nick Cage Superman hair.
There you go.
No. I don't want that mullet.
Right, with the curls just draping down.
So bad. That was so cringy.
So everyone who's watching, watch out for Jason's card game. Once he gets the Kickstarter out, I'll be sure to post it so you guys can all get started on the Kickstarter. I want a piece of the game. Hopefully we get started by Rhode Island Comic Con or very close to or sooner than that. Or it could be the start for the next year. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, I'm worried about, like, I want people to be able to afford to do some of the stuff, and I know some people, couldn't work or couldn't bring in extra income.
Well, you know what's funny, right? You know someone who got cheated for last year due to the Golden Globes? You know someone got cheated? All right, so here's something funny. Yeah, check this thing out, right?
Yeah, throw it at me.
Last year, the Golden Globes changed their rules where Pedro Pascal, yeah, that's right, the actor who played the Mandalorian, could have been nominated and could have competed for the actor in a TV series category. This rule was changed by the Hollywood Foreign Press, who saw the actor during the season finale. Ain't that a bitch? Well, now, since we got Jason on talk, yeah, exactly. You making that face. What do you think about that now?
So wait,
normally when they got the voice actor, since they didn't see the actor, they never got nominated, so they were never put in that category. Now they saw him.
I hate that rule, because that kind of been a thing. That's why a lot of superhero movies and anything where you wear a mask, they ask for in their contract usually at least a 10 to 30 minute slot of you seeing their face during the action. That's why Spider-Man has to always reveal his face to some villain he's fighting. Every friggin' movie. And like Batman does it too. He always takes off the mask. He's like, Batman.
Point, yeah.
But they have to do that if they want to get nominated, because it's stupid. Like it's so dumb.
Sammy
acting. He still did a good job.
Right.
Where they gonna say, "Oh, we're not sure."
It takes more talent to act behind a mask and make you like the character. I mean, look at Carl Urban with Judge Dredd.
Mm-hmm.
He was an amazing Judge Dredd, and he didn't remove his helmet once. Not once. He didn't even take it off on set after a take. That thing was glued to his fucking head until he walked into his trailer. And I get it logistically, because you have to make sure that it's the person that's actually in the role getting nominated, because you can't see their face, and because of film, you can make it up. But, honestly, with the way technology is now, I mean, they literally can Photoshop a photo, like a super realistic Hugh Jackman's head on the stunt driver for the stunt scenes, and you have no idea. So because of technology, it's kind of become a redundant rule. And I think their rules have not caught up with the times. But then again, the Golden Globes and the Oscars are all a popularity contest, and what actor gives what voter the best gifts. Like, they pay for their nominations, they pay for their votes. So, I mean, does he really give a shit if he wasn't nominated? Does he care, or does he like the fact that he cashed this check and will go on to do something else?
If you got a chance to be nominated, wouldn't you like to be nominated based on one of their heinous rules?
Yeah, but the fact is that it doesn't matter if he's not, he could have, if he wanted it, all he has to do is bribe them to nominate him. That's it. That's how legitimately how these award shows are. I mean, if you give them tens of thousands of dollars of watches and trips and gifts, and that you petition to get nominated on these things. It's not like a SAG is really the only one that's voted based on your peers, and it's the only nomination of actual legitimate merit. I mean, you could look it up. It's all public knowledge. All of these gifts are public gifts, so you can Google it. So, I mean, it just depends on how much he wants his nomination as I kill the topic.
Michael?
I mean, yeah, it's cool to get nominated and stuff like that, but I don't think he actually cares. Like, he's the type of person that wants to put out a good role and do what he did. That's why he even was on set, too, when they show a lot of stuff. He wore the helmet everywhere.
Yeah.
And cast photo, he wore it with the helmet. And if he's going to be nominated for the best, he could also be nominated for the voice actor, if that's the case. They could nominate him for the voice acting role, which would be huge in that instance, because you could have a stunt double through the whole movie, and he's the voice.
Right.
I mean, Darth Vader is one that sticks out. David Prowse was the actor, you know?
Yes.
We know who was the actual voice, you know? I mean, it's tit for tat there. I mean, I don't think he cares as long as he puts out a good show and people love him and he's going to get work. He's a phenomenal actor. I loved him in the Kingsman, and he did this role and stuff. You know, so the guy's a good actor, and he's going to do some solid work no matter what. I'm looking forward to the new season. I don't think he cares about a nomination. As long as the paychecks keep getting jacked, cash, I think he's happy.
Fair. All right. On to one of Sammy's favorite little topics. We're talking about Disney World. Walt Disney World has just submitted plans to reopen on July 11th, which includes Magic Kingdom and the Animal Kingdom. Disney plans also to reopen Disney Hollywood Studios Epcot by July 15th. Guests will undergo temperature screenings before entering the park and are told to wear a mask at all times. Sammy, since you live in Orlando, Florida, you live and breathe Disney. Are you excited about Disney World finally reopening their doors soon, or are you skeptic for now?
No, I'm not really skeptic. Disney. Say what you will about Disney, but they're on when it comes to their attendance and their parks, and taking care of the people that support them, aka like pass holders and stuff like that. They're on top of their game. I know a lot of people hate working for the mouse. I know a lot of people in the area hate that the mouse is here. And at that point, it's like, well, they've been here longer than you. So, whatever, don't live here. They put out a new clause, and it's actually posted everywhere, and it will be posted everywhere, that by you purchasing a ticket and setting foot on their private property, you are waiving any and all rights, responsibility on their part of you getting sick. And it basically is a blanket, thing that says, by you being here, you're taking responsibility that if you get sick, it's because of you.
Right. You're entering at your own risk.
You're entering at your own risk. Yeah. Which is smart. I mean, Disney's always CYA. I mean, they're legit. Their contracts legitimately say in the known universe when you sign them. So, you're going to have to, they're going to do the thermal laser temperature things.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone from what I have read through they send pass holders information and stuff. And, anybody under the temperature of 100 or over 100 has to, they will not let them on the park. You're not even allowed on grounds if you aren't wearing a mask. The interesting thing, which I'm not sure how they're going to handle this, is that anyone over the age of 2 has to wear a mask. Have you met children?
Yeah.
So I think for that, they're not going to be as super crazy strict, because how are you going to keep a 3-year-old from ripping something off of its face?
Yeah.
But they've always
put a Marvel character on it.
Huh?
You put a Marvel character on it.
Yeah, just super glue it on.
Just start selling Spider-Man masks, basically.
Disney has a whole line of masks already loaded in stores. And it's the bottom half of all of the Marvel characters. So you've got the bottom half of Iron Man's mask. Anybody that had a full mask, it's like the bottom half. Or it's the logos like the Captain America shield and stuff like that. So, they're They're way ahead of you already. The Fab
They're
Five.
making money.
Oh yeah. Hell, like 2 weeks as soon as they closed, they had them already designed and out before the parks even closed.
Right.
That's how fast they were.
The mouse.
I think it's time for them to, safely reopen. They're only opening at 20 to 25% capacity. And to give people a better idea of what that is. So that's probably Disney World's max capacity, I believe, is between 250 to 300,000 people. Just Magic Kingdom. The actual property is rated for 2 million people in all 4 of their parks. So at 25% capacity, that's like less than 100,000 people. It's going to be a fucking ghost town. And that's including staff, or rather cast members. Cast members have to wear masks and wear gloves, as far as I know. And then you have increased hand washing stations. They're going to have portable hand washing stations inside and outside every bathroom. And then before every ride entrance and exit is going to have a hand sanitizers as well. So they're going to, they're doing what they can. And they, unfortunately, in order to survive, they're going to have to reopen soon. So I'm for it. I really am very tired of being in my house.
So you want Disney World open so you can go and enjoy the park with no one.
I want to go, like, even if I don't go on a ride, like I've been a pass holder for over 10 years. Like I don't need to go on a ride,
Right.
But I want to like go walk and just, like.
I want to have an arm's length of no one next to me for a good.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous. I mean, this is literally, I've been on the road for 32 weeks out of the year for the last decade, and I will literally be home for 9 months, and it's the longest I've been home in 10 years.
Without going to Disney World.
Well, in general, like Disney or not, it's insane. But I want to go to the parks, It's a lot. For me, it's the parks. Like I've been a huge Disney fan, and that's what I go to do to relax and unwind and kind of recharge my creative battery. And when you can't do it, you literally, like, I go to the grocery store and come home. Sometimes I stop at Starbucks if they're open. And like, to tell you how sad it was, I think I told you, Arash, like a couple of weeks ago, I had to call PayPal because they screwed up something and I needed the card fixed. And I was like super excited to talk to a human. Like I'm like, yay, I get to talk to the PayPal lady. Like I was so happy. And I'm like, well, now I know what the old, lonely, old people are, why they talk 30 minutes to the greeter at Walmart.
Right.
I was like, hey, how's your day? How's it going? Like, I was that person on the phone. Yes. So I'm for it and I'm happy for it.
All right. Jason, what about you? Since you are a father for the first time, I believe, having Disney World open, how's that feel? Get to bring the kids, like, you come in first, first Disney.
Yeah, first visit Penn.
And look, I love Disney. I love Disney so much. I'm not bringing my kid. Kids are expensive. I need to get home and go myself. Like I ain't worried about that kid. Like, no. I am happy that I like the steps that they're taking, because when I read up on all the steps that they're taking to like ensure that like they're trying to be as careful as possible, that gave me a lot of ideas on stuff to have for J1Con. Mm-hmm. If I have it in November, like I'm still watching the skies, like, but yeah, I'm for it, like, I wonder, are they gonna really push like the distancing thing? Like, how are they gonna do that with a crowd as big as that? Like,
Disney's an expert at crowd maneuvering and management.
Right.
They handle hundreds of thousands of people every day. So ensuring a 6-foot distance isn't probably going to be too big of a deal. Plus, there's only going to be like 25,000 people at most in the park. And with a park that size, it's going to be like a ghost town. So then they have cast members. From what I read, they're going to have multiple cast members in every line, not just the person loading and telling. They're going to have people, 4 cast members, I think, per every line, every queue for a ride. And then there's going to be multiple cast members controlling any retail crowd lines as well. So they're basically taking the extra staff that would have been doing things and repurposing them for crowd control.
Michael? Yes, no, maybe so. You still like?
Huh?
Yes, no, maybe so.
Yay or nay?
I'm yay for it. My only curiosity is because they're sitting there saying we're going to scan somebody. Disney in Florida, in the sun, walking from the parking lot to the entrance, and then we're going to scan you, and you're a 100.1. Sorry, tough noogies, go home.
Well,
are you flipping kidding me?
That's why they said it like it's actually like 100.7, I think, and under you get let in.
If your temperature is that high, you shouldn't be outside. Period. Like
that's like heat stroke.
Right, but it's
you're
Orlando. You'll
outside.
get heat stroke from the parking lot to the doors already, and your temperature will be going up.
But you also got to figure if you're a parent who's probably got 2 or 3 kids in tow, you've probably got a backpack. You've got, if it's a small child, a diaper bag. You're pushing a carriage because your kid's not going to walk that entire way. So you're doing more stuff to build your, adrenaline up. Same thing like you go running, you play a sport, you do something.
Mm-hmm.
My temperature could be 98.7, but I'm playing softball on a Sunday in 90-degree heat. My temperature is not going to be tested at 98.7. It's probably going to be 100, 100.1. Now you're doing all that from the parking lot to the front entrance, and you got to get scanned for that. I mean, I'm kind of curious as to see how tight and lenient they're going to be with that. Hey, go cool off in the tent for a moment. Let's double check your temperature in a few minutes.
Yeah,
that might be cool.
Something like that as well.
Yeah, because you're going to have to do something like that. You're going to have to go park it in Guam to walk to the front entrance or take everything to get there. Yeah. You're going to build up a sweat. I like how Disney is looking at. I mean, 25,000 people on their property is how many miles is that property from one side to the other? Mm-hmm. So 25,000 people is going to look like just nothing. You just take a bunch of drop it on a piece of paper and spread it out. It's going to be like that. No one's going to be on top of each other. I mean, I'd like to see what happens because I think that could help us determine if they go off without a hitch. You're going to start seeing sports stadiums, arenas, maybe other things like conventions and stuff like that. They could take a nod from them and be like, hey, they're doing it right. They're bringing entertainment and they're doing something. We need to emulate that a little bit and help get the country back to normalcy, per se.
Yeah. 107 square acres.
107 square acres? Mm-hmm. How many miles is that?
Let's find out.
Because, that's got to be like, 5 miles?
Yeah, because that's a lot. Because actually what people don't know is Disney also has the Wild World of Sports facility that's also on the grounds as well, too.
Yep.
So speaking about grounds, the NBA is set to return to action by the end of July. All games will be held at Disney World's Orlando, Florida, Wild World of Sports complex. All 30 teams will be held on the grounds complex. No news yet of how the season will play out.
Well, Jason, now, with that being said, though, is that going to affect their attendance for the entire parks now? Because you're going to have
no attendance for the games. It's just
no. I get that for the games, but now that many people could be at that stadium on that there. That affects their overall attendance for that park,
right?
Because that is a park itself.
Yes.
So you got to figure you're probably not going to be able to have attendance at that park or that portion of that park where all the basketball teams are going to be and their families are probably going to be.
Yeah, they're closing the resort. So no resort. All the basketball players are going to be held in their high-end resorts.
Yeah.
So they're not going to, and so from my understanding of what I read, the NBA is paying Disney for all of this. So Disney is still bringing money in.
Oh, yeah, Disney's going to get paid for that.
Okay. And NBA is making more money with all the sponsors.
But Disney has 3 large hotels, the big 3 that are attached to Magic Kingdom, the actual resorts. Then you've got, you've got Pop Animation, you've got the music one, you've got on property, you've probably got about 10 other resort and hotels that Disney can put guests in, not to mention the hundreds of hotels all around. So I don't really see how it's going to affect attendance very much when it comes to like people staying on property and then going to the park. But from what I know, on property, there isn't going to be any reservations until mid-July. So they've canceled all on property reservations until July. And that's when they start. So I think that in itself is simply a sanitation plus, preventative measures kind of thing for their individual properties. So yeah. Fun facts.
Mike, what do you think? What? Mike, what do you think about the NBA season still continuing on Disney grounds? Since you're a Celtics fan.
I'm a huge Celtics fan, and I mean, I'd like to see what's going to happen with the NBA season from now on. But I mean, I'm also curious to see how they're going to set up the leagues. Is it going to be like play-ins? Are the players actually going to buy into this whole thing now because you're the 16th seed in your division? You have nothing to play for. Do you think some of these guys are probably going to go out there and maybe risk their health or their career or their family and go full blown? They might not. Look at Damian Lillard. He literally said, unless my team has a legit shot at the playoffs, I'm not doing this. So now, I mean, some of these guys are getting paid from contracts outside of the place. Do you think they really care about 5 to 6 meaningless games that are going to do nothing for the NBA season or their playoff chance or whatever?
Right.
I'd like to see how they're going to handle it and then how that plays out to hockey, how it's going to play out to baseball, and see what's going to go on because that's where it all depends.
Jason, what do you think about the current NBA season?
I think it's going to be weird. Aren't they going to do like an immediate, like everybody's got a chance to be a champ? Like, so I actually like that a little bit better because now you're going to see a lot of hungry teams who never had a chance possibly run away with the championship. Like, you're going to get like the worst team. They're just going to make up a team. It's going to be like the Alabama like pig feet, and then they're gonna come in and just like be the best team in the NBA.
So are you hoping this is gonna be like an NCAA March Madness in a way, like the 16 seed knocks off the number 1 seed and potentially could be the Cinderella?
I think it makes for a more exciting game, for an exciting season, because we don't know how good everybody is at this point. When you get to a certain level, a certain number of games kind of give away how the season generally is going to play out. Like once in a while you get your upsets and your underdogs and all that stuff. But for the most part, like.
So you're saying right now, put all 30 teams into some sort of playoff format right now, and let's go.
And just go all out. Just knock out. Just one time. Like I say, like best out of 3 games.
Okay.
Like, I can see that.
The first round, best out of 3. The next rounds will go back to the 5 and 7 rule that they have in the normal playoffs.
I would wait until you get to the final, like 16 or 8 or something like that. Like when it gets lower in there, because there's still going to be a lot of games if you still do that. So like the first set of rounds, have it be the best out of 3, and then keep it pushing, until maybe like the. A little like semifinals, like because we have a shorter schedule this time. You know what I mean? So we can't spend too many games on like saying back-to-back games.
Now imagine that, like what you're saying, like a best of 3 series, and it's like the 14 seed takes on the number, 2 seed or the 3 seed or something. Golden State Warriors could potentially get Curry back and Mike Thompson, and you have that squad. That could be a dangerous nightmare matchup for any first top 4 seed teams. That's a team that could go deep into the playoffs and could be that potential Cinderella for a championship.
Yeah, but what if the number 4 team has a stacked lineup and they have fresh legs and they beat the Curry and the Thompson and the Green and they get knocked out of that? Now it becomes a fun entertainment.
Yeah,
now you don't have the Golden State Warriors in the mix.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Golden State could be healthy with them 2 guys because technically they weren't supposed to play until April, and that would have been like the last 5 games of the regular season, and that team was not making the playoffs.
Right.
Now you give them an extra 2.5 months to really rehab and be fully 100%, and now go into that playoffs. Oh, that's dangerous. That squad could be a serious upset. Like, that could be interesting. I'd love to see LeBron go against that squad. Now could be interesting.
Shoot, I just
It
want
would
to see
make,
LeBron
it would
James
make
with
the
Pelicans
season
in the first
itself more exciting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of more Disney action, pretty much, Kingdom Hearts is finally getting its TV series. Making its way to the Disney Plus will be Kingdom Hearts, and they're looking to do a CG animated series. Mike, go first. What you think about this thing, since you're a gamer?
I'm game with it. I'm game. I love anything Kingdom Hearts. I love the animation. I love the different worlds that they bring into it. With the original Kingdom Hearts, you could play in Toy Story, go into Alice in Wonderland, then you add everything in, and now they're going to add that to the newer stuff. Disney's going to push their newer properties. They're going to push the Marvel. They're going to push Star Wars with it, which I'm okay with it. If they do it right, you could add that into Kingdom Hearts, and that could generate more buzz around potential spin-offs, maybe more video games, more levels, different things with it.
Mm-hmm.
If they bring back the voice casting that's done the video games, I'm game for it. I think it's going to be amazing. Don't swap up the voice cast. All your fans know those people from day one.
Yes.
You keep that going, you're going to have a fan base that's going to buy into it. They're going to buy the merch. They're going to watch the shows. They're going to keep into it. If you change it all up and now all of a sudden Sora is a totally different voice, or Buzz Lightyear is a different person or something like that, you can be like, what? This is what I played? And what if it's worse?
Right.
You know what you have, keep it the same and go with it. I think there's potential for them to make that could be a blockbuster hit for them. That could span 4 or 5 seasons in a heartbeat with it.
Sammy?
I agree. Haley Joel has been playing Sora since he was a teeny bopper, before a teeny bopper. Kingdom Hearts is, with Square Enix, of course. And so I'm interested to see if Disney's going to bring any of the Final Fantasy and any of Square's characters on board, or if it's just going to cut them out. I haven't played the third game yet, so I don't know how Disney heavy it was, but I replayed the second, and it's pretty lacking in any sort of Final Fantasy-ness that originally brought, that was part of the first one. So, but it was mostly around Disney anyway. And who doesn't want to see Mickey fucking wielding that Keyblade being a super awesome ninja mouse badass? I mean, that's really the only reason you played those games. But, I think honestly, it's easy to not have, Tom Hanks voicing Woody in a video game. You just make that character have a text dialogue. But that being said, Disney is very good at getting voice actors that can't necessarily actors. They're really good about getting ones that are flexible, but even if that actor doesn't want to do it, for instance, the Robin Williams, they had the voice actor that did Homer Simpson play Genie, and he was not just as good. Let's not be there, but he was decent. He was appropriate. He was an appropriate second choice for that. So I can see them doing something similar, but Disney's smart with their actors, and I think they'd be willing to do it because you had Tom Hanks and what's Buzz Lightyear's actual name?
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen voice a special part as a 2-second clip for a parody throwaway thing at the end of Cars. So I think honestly bringing those actors in, I don't think it's gonna be as much of an issue, especially since that's kind of become a thing now with actors. They don't view it as beneath them anymore to be TV show voice actors or even on their own television show now because of streaming services and stuff like that. It's not like back in the day when, you were a has-been actor if you were on a cartoon or, made for TV movie. Your career was over if you had a made for TV movie. And, it just doesn't have the same stigma. So I don't think they're going to have much of an issue, but it is going to be important to get the right the right cast, and the story is simple enough. So I'm excited for it. I was disappointed that you didn't get to see more of Scrooge McDuck and the nephews. You're making ice cream and have a video. I'm making a skateboard. Cool, let me do something with you. And there's so many worlds that hasn't. I've only replayed the second, but I mean, I don't know. The third for people is very hit or miss from what I've been told.
Yeah.
But they created such a world with the organization 13 and then Ansem, and then they barely touched on what King Mickey was doing when Sora was running around, half the time. I mean, I was disappointed Mickey wasn't in it more. I'm like, although Donald and Goofy, total badasses. Let's not mince words on that.
Goofy's a beast.
Goofy is a beast. You max out his strength and his all of his attack moves, and he's one hit kill, just done. I hated playing without them because I sucked because they were powerhouses. Donald is an MP whore though, straight up. He'll suck the MP right out of everybody if he had the chance because he's like, I'm done, you're dead. Lightning.
All right, Jason, your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts making the Disney Plus?
I think it's a good move. Even though, you guys were saying that the response overall was hit or miss amongst the fan base, it still was more positive than negative.
Yeah.
And because Kingdom Hearts has years of we're talking PlayStation 1 or 2?
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation 2.
It came out in the original I think came out in
2003, 2004, something like that.
No, earlier than that. I was in
college. 97, 98.
Yeah, the original came out.
It came out a while ago because I remember
I have the interwebs.
I was in college then. But
right.
But again, the thing that if they're smart, they've done voice swaps before. Buzz Lightyear had his own cartoon and they had a different voice actor, but it worked. They always did that when they made Lion King. They brought Lion King to direct to video and to TV. They got voices that matched the original superstars who played those roles. So I'm not worried they're gonna mess up the voices because Disney knows voices. I mean, literally, that's
what they do.
So I'm for it, and I think it'd be a great thing, and it would bring the gamer fan base over to the Disney Plus side. If they by bringing that up, that's a whole nother market of people that are going to come to watch that are just Kingdom Hearts fans. That's a subscription seller. That's just like how the Mandalorian subscription seller, Kingdom Hearts subscription seller, Snyder Cut subscription seller. You know what I mean? These are certain things that you're like, I might have to buy that just to watch that one show. Cobra Kai, not a subscription seller.
Agreed.
I think that was with working in GameStop, how many people were so excited with the Xbox to finally get Kingdom Hearts on the Xbox. That might have been Microsoft fans. Yeah. Now you brought out a whole new, fan base to come to the show and come to that game. I was a little bit kind of I'm a Sony snob. I love my PlayStation. So I kind of wanted to stay there, but I get it. Hey, drop it over there. You're adding a fan base that's going to get the love of what I grew up with and playing. I think the same thing will happen here with the subscription service. And it's exactly what you said. It is going to be a subscription seller. Yeah. If they time it right, Mandalorian's off the air, and now they have something where it's a couple of months might be doing something. You might not get the Marvel Plus stuff going. Now you throw that in there. That sells your subscription base for a few more months. And now you bring the Marvel stuff back in. Now you got more subscription selling. It's a smart.
If they're smart. Whoa, what was that?
So someone has their speaker on too loud.
I don't have any speakers on.
I don't have any speakers. I'm looking. I'm making sure there's nothing on now. With if they're smart, they could do exactly what you were saying, like, set it up, because Marvel did that with their Netflix stuff. Like when there was always just one show that was in as a new show that season. So like when Luke Cage was over, you would get Jessica Jones, and then when that was over, you got some Punisher, and then like it would go back to a new season of Daredevil, and they always kept something going. They could do that now with the Mandalorian, with Kingdom Hearts, with with all the like WandaVision and all that stuff. They could keep it going, and they better hire Hikaru Utada to come in and sing the opening theme song, or else I'm gonna go down to Disney and I'm gonna have these hands for everybody.
All
I'll
right.
get more to do it.
All right. Since we're almost at that time, real quick, we'll start with Jason. Jason, final words. Where can everyone get you? Where can everyone find you? Real quick, go.
You can find me inside my house because we all locked down. Plus, it's some crazy stuff going outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to throw it out there. I don't care because, I'm a black man. You know what I'm saying? Real talk is crazy out there. And we should be – I got a whole rant about that. We'll like Neil and people mad at Kaepernick, but,
For a different show. Where can we find you? Where else can we find you?
Check me out on VT Heroes. I want everybody to go to VT Heroes on Instagram. That's super important. Go to VT Heroes on Instagram, and you'll see my comments about this situation. I want,
Sammy, where can we find you? And what are you working on next?
As always, you can find me here Sunday nights at 8 Eastern. No, or on Wednesdays, live streaming 7 p.m. or social media wise, obviously I have my website, castillostudios.ninja, or Facebook, TS Castillo Studios, and Instagram under the same name.
Michael?
I'm pretty boring, just Facebook. So you can find me at GameStop 3 nights a week, give or take, but I don't think some of the people from all over the country are going to come down. I'd love to see you. Come on down, but no, just here on Facebook. That's about it. But yeah, up.
I have to go up. Most of America will have to go up.
Yeah.
Well, I like
How
to
about
say
you,
this.
Arash?
Oh, you can find me every single Wednesday on Sammy Castillo. I'll be co-hosting with her every Wednesday at 7 p.m. And you can always catch us here every Sunday here at 8 p.m. And without some final words, Comic-Con, for some of you, is just around the corner. Tampa's on its way. Granted, hopefully, with everything happening right now with the news, hopefully that doesn't stop our progress of actually opening some fun entertainment. And hopefully the pandemic will actually keep us going during this time as well, too. Some of us are looking for the East Coast, and I'm really looking forward to having J1 hopefully by November at the Showboat in Atlantic City. I'd like to thank you all for coming. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Sammy. Special thank you to Jason for being a special guest this week. I will see all of you guys next weekend. Same time, same channel, 8 p.m. Thank you. Mwah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.